All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Hoppy Craftsmen. I'm here with my good buddy Chris and Ed. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Did you have a Merry Christmas?
We had a great Christmas.
I had a Merry Christmas.
Christmas was fantastic.
I had a great time with the family. I assume everything went great.
Yeah, always. It's part.
Why wouldn't it?
I mean, I slept a bunch.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, nothing at all.
Well, here we are again, and it just warms my heart as we get ready to begin the new year. How are you guys? What's
Good.
going on?
Doing well.
Do you know what year it is?
I'm doing the holidays. It's 2023 still.
Still 2023.
Well, yeah, we're on the verge of 2024.
That's correct.
But there's a hint on what it is sitting on the bar over there.
It's the year of the porpoise.
Year of the Dragon.
Yes, it is the year of the dragon.
This
Kiss
year.
my butt, Chris.
Not next year.
Yeah, 2024.
Now.
2024 year of the dragon?
Yes, correct.
Oh, I thought this year was year of the
What
dragon.
was, was this year?
I don't know.
Well, then how would
It's
you...
over.
How was that a
Not
reference?
yet.
Yeah, it's still...
It's close enough. We got a couple days to go before the new year. Specifically, it is a wood dragon year.
Whoa.
Ooh, what's a
I like how you know these specifics about next year, but not this. It's like you researched it for next
We're
year.
going
really
into
feels like you
next
didn't
year.
have
Oh,
to
okay.
research. Really, like you like you're like, and I don't know how you could come across that information without accidentally knowing what the current year is.
That's what I would say. There's probably a list somewhere you pulled up. Hey,
It's the year of the rabbit, 2023.
oh,
It was
nice.
the year of the rabbit.
Okay.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, it went by real fast. By the way, nice Arizona Strong Beer Fest tin packer you got up there.
Yeah, I know some people.
Yeah,
I
That's
didn't.
some people.
they totally didn't give it away reluctantly.
Yeah, we definitely didn't have to pry it from their almost cold dead hands.
Do you guys know what you are in the Chinese zodiac?
I'm a cock.
Good people.
Do you know what you are?
Yeah, what am I?
I asked you. Do you know what you are?
No, I don't understand what it's based off of.
It's
It's
beer.
the 12. It's the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac.
oh, what's January? Yeah.
No, it's
It's
the
not. It's
year.
by year.
By year. Because like the Chinese, like it's the whole Chinese New Year. That's why it's year of the dragon,
Oh, so
year of
19 the year you're born.
year you're born.
What's 1987?
God, you're such a baby.
He is the young man on the show.
Let's see here.
Ed over here.
What am I, Ed?
So this was your year, actually, Nate. You are a rabbit.
You're a rabbit.
Wow. All right.
This is your year.
Yeah.
This was your year.
And I
Hope
missed
you had
it.
a
How'd
good
you
year.
I don't know. It's fine. Everybody's healthy.
and
Well, that's good. That's a good part.
Yeah.
Chris and I are both metal cocks.
Yeah.
So
Boom.
that tells you a lot
Definitely
about
agree
us.
with that.
And
guys
you are a
huge metal dick.
Strong.
and you are
metal
a
cock.
you are a fire rabbit.
Ooh, that
That-
sounds slightly dangerous in the
You got
right
some fire in your belly.
situation.
That makes
I
sense.
just picture the Monty Python
As long as-
rabbit.
As long
Run
as
away!
everything's doused with gas, I'm dangerous.
Like the Home Alone toilet.
Well, you are pretty gassy from time to time.
I mean, that is awesome.
But now that we got our zodiacs out of the
You
way,
don't hang out
okay.
near enough.
what
to
are we
make such
drinking?
An allegation.
people?
My wife would agree with you.
I mean,
Chris does, and yes, that's true.
my wife also agrees with me that I'm gassy.
Again, your wife. What are you drinking, Ed? What are you drinking, Chris? Me and Ed are drinking something different.
Yeah. We need a fourth person in the show so we can drink balanced out here. I'm drinking a winter sweater. It's delicious. It's red, white, and blue. No, this is the Holidays from Pure. And I think it's a collab, right? Oh, yeah, that's Persian. Bergeron. I always say that wrong, I'm sure.
Virgin.
But Bergeron. Tom Bergeron.
I think
beer.
it is. Yeah, something like that.
Remember when Nate said Tom Berenger?
It's a Tom Bergeron beer. I was like, nah, I don't think that's it. Home for the Holidays. Murky Double IPA. I bought this previously for myself. It was delicious. So that's why I chose when Ed gave us options.
Yeah.
I also drink that too.
Nate, what are we drinking?
Ed, we are drinking a Distant Stargazer Murky Double India Pale Ale.
Also from Pure Project.
It was canned on 1010. When was your canned?
Oh, my goodness.
No,
Never.
it's on the side, Bonehead.
Never.
Right
Well,
here.
I don't know.
Look at my hand. Look at my finger.
All right. Let me look at this thing.
Yeah. No, that's the wrong.
11-7.
Damn, yours is a month fresher,
Boom.
but mine tastes good.
Don't drink mine.
I'm not
You
gonna drink
son
it
of
if I
a...
don't. I'll drink if I want to.
Now I got herpes.
You got the kind of
I
herpes
know you have
syphilis.
herpes.
Now I'm probably...
Syphilis.
All right. There's also a taster beer that I poured
You did.
that I want you guys to guess because in 2023, this is probably the most surprising beer that popped up in the state, I would say.
Okay.
It's probably a beer we never expected to have. If Nate doesn't get this, he's fired. If you don't get this, you're
That must mean it must be
Also
Maine Beer
fired.
Company.
Wait, because I'm like, is this the beer I just brought?
so
It must be Maine Beer Company. Would have to be lunch.
that's Nate's guess.
That's what I was going to guess too. It's fine. It looks very malty
It's delicious.
Why do you think it's lunch, Nate?
because it's not dinner and it's lunchtime.
Because I know what got distributed here. But there was another good IPA that got distributed as well by Maine Beer Company.
What was that?
I was like, oh, fuck. It was like old fucking. It had like an F word in it.
Old fucker.
Not fuck.
Oh, fuckity.
Shut up. We're never gonna. My parents will never be able to listen to this show. One time my stepdad was like, I threw on one of your shows. I was like, Jesus Christ.
You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't listen to that.
I was like, don't do that.
Chris, your guess?
Yeah, I mean, Maine lunch, I guess. I brought it. It tastes delicious.
It is Maine lunch, but it's the one I bought because
I like that's gotta be. Listen, assholes.
It's a different flavored one because I bought it.
When did you get it? Is it a new? Is it a fresh?
I think it's a fresh drop
I wanna
or
see the
fresher
bottle.
drop.
Yeah.
I want to see the bottle.
Okay, I'll go get it.
During the break. Wait, we don't breaks anymore.
Yeah, we don't do breaks.
We don't do breaks anymore on the show.
I knew that.
How surprising is it that this beer is here? That this beer showed up in 2023?
It's very surprising.
It's funny. So why did you buy it, Ed? Why did you buy this? Why did you buy? Why, like, where are you at the store and be like, oh, man,
he likes good beer.
I'm not saying it's not good beer. I'm just saying.
And I'd also like to add, and interrupt and say that the price point on this beer is really spot on because they pretty much only added $1 or $1.50.
Yeah, it's
from
not.
what I can tell. At least from when I've been to the Maine Beer Brewery, you're not getting out paying $7-8 a bottle there either. And Ed, you probably paid $9
$10
a bottle. 10?
Yeah,
I still think that's fair.
Yeah, no, I saw it and I thought of something, and so I wanted to see what drove Ed to buy this beer.
well, it's exactly what I said. Like, this is a beer we probably a couple years ago would have never expected to see here, and it was one of the highlights of 2023 when all of a sudden all these bottle shops posted like, "Hey, Maine lunch,
yeah, I know.
you're welcome."
That's my exact thought too. I saw it and I was like, you know what? I know we were super hyped about it, and I went and bought some. I bought some and drank some myself, and I know you got some, Nate. I'm assuming you got some previously.
Yes.
You know? And so but I'm like, we still haven't had it in the show. We were so hyped about it. We had it in the show, so I'm like, I'm gonna get a bottle to bring on the show.
And I think I think we all have probably Allagash to thank because I'm pretty sure they started the distribution process. I think that's one of the bigger Maine beers we first time ever saw out here. Probably saw it 3 or 4 years ago.
Yep.
We still see it occasionally in distribution, I believe. Regardless, it's nice to see. Because Maine Beer started small, man. They had a small little tap room. Then now they have a huge facility in the same area in Freeport. It's just cool. Yeah, it's very unexpected. It's like if you were to get only thing that would make it even, like if we got to get Pliny all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Which there are rumblings I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
But
rumor on the streets.
I won't believe a fucking thing until we see until I don't have to see, got some in.
Pliny for the Elder.
We got one single
Pliny for president.
In one single 9-bottle case per store does not count.
Yeah, right.
We're not doing that. I want to see some pallets show up.
Well, and that's the main stuff. I see, like a handful of them. I mean, they're testing the waters. They're dipping their toe in.
They can fill long 8 or 9, 10 sleeves of Maine beer.
Right. I know they have more. I hope we get more. I hope that people are buying them so we can get more of their selection out here because there are good stuff.
If people knew what it was, I think it'd fly off the shelves a little quicker.
Yep. Well, that's what we're here. That's what we're doing.
People sleep on
That's the point of this.
I don't know why they sleep on Maine Beer Company. It is one of the cleanest because they don't do hazies. I mean, they do.
Yeah.
They do, but they don't call them. I mean, they don't. They're just an IPA. They're different IPAs, but the lunch it's hazy-ish, but it's so clean and delicious. It just the way they make beer it's special.
Well, and
it's
they do
special.
This is gonna be end of the year, so they make
it's
a good.
real to me.
They make a good lager.
They do.
Their lager is actually pretty delicious.
The stout. I bought the stout. Loved it.
Yeah.
They distributed a stout, I believe. They did a lager, a couple IPAs, and a stout. Is what the latest distribution is, which is perfect.
Yeah.
That's a nice little stapling of what they can do, and I'm sure they can interchange the IPAs that they distribute. Their facility in Freeport is huge. I'm not surprised that they're doing this.
Good.
So.
We're gonna have to add another segment to the show. We have Chris's Michigan Minute. We're gonna have to have Nate's Maine moments. He's getting all sentimental over there about Maine.
We could talk about it a lot. I mean, there's lots of good beer out of there.
There is lots of good beer.
Bissell. That's it.
Better Steel's there too.
No, I'm just joking. I could literally go on, but I don't want to sit here and list Maine beer.
It's kind of the reason why I picked the Pure Project beers because they had amazing beers in 2023, and we got a lot of them.
We drank a lot of their beer.
And we get so much of their beer, which is great. We get general regular distribution of Pure, which obviously 10 years ago would have blown our minds.
Dude, we drove to California to get beer. And then we were like, okay, well, we're not in San Diego, but we're going to drive to San Diego to go get pure.
Oh yeah, 10, 12, 10, 12 years ago, Modern Times was on my pickup list when I was in California. That's a joke now.
Yeah.
Besides the fact they're out of business, but before when they had heavy distribution in Arizona, they had heavy distribution.
Right. And then, but yeah, just pure, the amount of pure stuff we get now is phenomenal. Okay, it's amazing. I love it. So I think if you look through, I mean, I didn't check a lot of beers this year, but I think a lot of them are Pure Project beers. And I think like my most probably go after beer I could.
Wait, hold on. Let me guess. I want to guess. Is this your 2023 beer?
I'd say this is the one I probably drank the most.
Diamond Dust.
Yeah, 100%. Diamond Dust and Double Diamond Dust. Love it.
I think I don't remember what publication they said Diamond Dust was the best beer of the year in whatever poll they did.
So good.
I'll be listing when we're doing this episode at some point. We're going to list our most drank beer of the year, right?
Yeah. Okay. Beer that you drink the most, or you think? I mean,
because I've got ones I've drank the most, and I've also got just the highlights of the year.
Well, what was your best? Chris is. I mean, every time I saw him, he was drinking Diamond Dust.
To drink so much Diamond Dust is crazy.
I mean,
so good.
It's totally has to be Spellbinder. I have to be my most drank IPA.
The base Spellbinder? None of the variants?
No, not my preferred.
So that's the beer you drank the most?
Yeah.
All year?
All year.
The top of that would probably have to been the beer that we got from Luke that was 18 hours old, Spellbinder.
Oh, yeah.
That was probably the best Spellbinder ever.
That wasn't this year, though.
No,
it was 21.
It was last year, yeah.
Regardless, no, I agree.
That was
that was a vintage of...
was that the best beer you
Italian
drank this year?
Fingers? That was a delicious. That was a good beer.
Was that your best beer of the year?
No. Honestly, I've had. God, one of the beers that blew me away this year was a Kiwi IPA from Lawson's.
Are you sure you weren't drinking Kiwi sparkling water?
No, because I had it as well, and it was also really, really good.
It was astonishing because what it wasn't Kiwi nothing. It was just Kiwi based hops. It blew me away.
Yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't like they added a bunch of Kiwi to the beer. It was Kiwi as in New Zealand Kiwi.
Yeah, exactly.
It was phenomenal. It tasted so good.
It was like I know I embarrassed the entire party of people I was with at this place because I had so many beers and I was like, one more man, please. Because I had probably two or three of those, and I had many beers that night, and it was astonishingly good. And Lawson's, we all know Little Sip of Sunshine,
right?
And this was, I think it was their Little Sip of Sunshine Kiwi, whatever.
Yeah, Kiwi edition.
And it was not you can't get it just everywhere, so it's kind of lame to throw out there.
And it was on draft, dude. It was so good. Yeah. I definitely had. I think I had two. Like I started with that, and then I had some other beers too that night, and then I went back to that because I was like,
it's just so dang good,
so good.
Too good. So that was probably my wow, this was an amazing beer because it's every once in a while when you're searching out those and you're a craft beer person and you're searching out those places and you just finally go to a place that's a niche with the distributor and they're getting the good stuff of the region. You don't find those all the time.
And where'd you get this from?
This was at a restaurant in New Rockport or whatever in Maine. Maine coastal town.
Not here.
They had Pliny on tap. They had Pliny on tap as well. Lawson's, all these Bissell's, and it was a lucky experience. But man, that Kiwi from Lawson's was like, wow, blew me away.
I was trying to go through my Untapped and
what
look
about you, Ed?
And see
what was your most drank, and then also what was your little moment of the year?
I think the beer I drank the most has to be. I think it was the excessive hop warning from Goldwater.
Nice.
I went there multiple times.
Nice.
Just to have that beer.
one.
Like it was really good. It was
excessive hop warning.
It was one of my favorite.
That's a good name. I don't know if I remember that one.
It was one of my favorite beers of the year.
When did they release it? As far as
they did it right
spring,
before fresh hop season because it was like the big release they did before all the fresh hop beers came out.
And I love that breweries make such a thing out of fresh hop season now. I love that it's always a thing for each caring brewery.
Right.
With some of these real artistic brewers that what they do with fresh hop season, it's fun. All right, so that was your most drank.
That was my most drank. I would say.
What was your moment of the year where you're like, damn, this is good.
Not my moment of the year, but a close one that was up for debate was the King Gus collab from Oro. That they did with Gus's Fried Chicken.
Oh, nice.
It was a fantastic beer. They won an award at Arizona Craft Beer Awards.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Damn, I missed it. FOMO right now.
But my standout beer.
What kind of beer was that, by the way? I'm sorry.
It was a double IPA with Citra, Galaxy, and Vic Secret.
Well, like
turn of the knife.
So I went to Gus's with Stone, and they're like, oh, I want to order a beer, and they're like, well, we have this one that we did a collab with. You want to try that one? I was like, sure. And I thought they were just gonna bring me a glass of it. No, they brought me a freaking like growler of it.
No,
and then they popped it open because it's one of the big cans, the 32 ounces or whatever, right? And I was like, oh, I guess I'm having 2.5 beers for lunch.
You're like, it was lunch. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was lunch, dude. I was like, damn, all right.
That's awesome.
Well, that's cool.
Okay, that's a good one.
And then obviously because it's a moment that has rarely happened. Do you guys want to guess? There's a hint in this room of what it relates to.
The dragon.
And it's not Lego. It's not Dragon.
It's not the dragon.
God.
Was it the American Festival?
Yes, the 2011 American Beer Festival. We went and did a show just so we could drink this beer because I thought it was so fantastic.
Oh, it's probably that was the one of Divide Vine. What was that called? It was
it was the Divided Vine.
I can't remember beer names.
It was Back to the Future with PH1, the Pure Project collab with North Park and Harlan Brewing.
Right.
It was the Mega Matueka, Nelson, and Citra.
I had just had arm surgery, and I had not had a lot to drink that particular episode as a result.
Yeah, you laid off your pain medication so you could drink beer that day.
Okay, so I had a hard time remembering. But yes, I do remember those beers were stout. Those beers were so good.
That's the one where I think you said I haven't had a good day yet, and if I don't drink beer that's good, I'm gonna have a really bad day.
That's a good one.
So
it seems like me.
Standout beers for me, by the way. Probably two of them. One was it Devil's Lettuce, which was with the Shop and Dark Sky collab.
Oh yeah, Nate drank that specifically for episode 100.
Holy shit,
that
dude! That was so good. So good.
That was good call.
And
good call out.
Really close was that Isolation from Roses by the Stairs.
Yeah, they had some
that
fantastic
was so good.
Needs an honorable mention.
Dude,
Jordan needs to know. You have to quote me in one of our Instagram videos because Jordan needs to know that beer was amazing.
So good.
And I don't know which one of them did it. I don't really care, but it came out of Roses by the Stairs and fire beer.
Right. Just more like that, please.
Oh my
more
God.
like that. So
Holy
good.
cow.
I mean, not to say the other beers aren't, good. Their beers are great.
They make
that one
amazing West Coast. They make some hard going West Coast that are delicious. But to be able to pull out a hazy like that, that's good stuff. I mean, we were drinking hazies like that at like Monkish.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was reminiscent of those real thick, delicious, just Foggy Window. You remember that beer, the Foggy Window?
Good.
And it was a lot like that. It was just cloudy and delicious. And I mean like the way it tasted.
It was just one of those things where like, we talked about going down and recording. We were like, well, we should just go to Roses and record real quick so we could try that beer. And I was mad that I didn't buy a 4-pack when we were there. And then I went to Trevor's, and then Trevor's had it, and I bought it. And I went back, and they got another shipment of it, so I bought more of it. Because I was like, I see it. I'm like, I know it's amazing.
I was out with
so
a friend. They had it on tap, and I had 2 of them, and I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was our failed first attempt at using the Rode Wireless Go mics.
Really?
We recorded twice, and we didn't record anything, right? Like we turned it off, or it was something silly.
Because it has settings that you have to set up in the program on what the buttons do, because it only has like 1 or 2 buttons.
Of course.
So it doesn't record by default.
So we turned it on, and then it got muted. I think we turned it on, and then we hit the button again, and it muted it. And so we didn't record anything.
That's funny.
Chris and I talked about it. We bought that Rode wireless system specifically for Dave from the shop.
Because he always, when we talk to him during beer fests, he turns off the microphone off. He hits the microphone button.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The last 2 times we recorded at beer festival with them, I can't use any of it because like you can't hear him. You can hear him in like your microphone or my microphone in the background, and you're funny. Like, "Wow, sorry, Dave."
The Wireless Go has a specific feature where you can turn the button so it does not mute it.
It doesn't do anything.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's what we're like.
So it's Dave proof. So we'll have to talk to
We'll
Dave.
see. It's yet to be tested.
Any other beer highlights as far as just straight beer goes?
Yeah, I need to have a localize this year.
I would say not a highlight, but more a disappointment maybe.
Yeah.
Was Pueblo Vita. Like we started getting a lot of Pueblo Vitas here, which I was excited for. And I started drinking some more of them, and I was like, these aren't tasting like they used to.
Yeah, I think I had the Fire, or it was either Fire or Embers. I didn't really care for it.
Right.
The Andromeda's still good, but everything else is kind of muted.
It was weird. I don't know what it is. It was just like I was not I was
That's
excited when
unfortunate.
we started getting a lot more of them here. I was like, Pula Vita's great.
Yeah.
And there was like the thing you can go, like he's like, you can go Pula Vita, buy beer, bring it back, and it's always been amazing, right?
Well, if you have to wonder
It's just something.
what system they changed to be able to
I don't know.
distribute like that, or if they didn't or did, I don't know. I just it'd be all
I
assumptions.
don't think it doesn't seem like it's a transferring issue. Like it's just not like oh somebody shipped
got
it from.
warm.
It's not like a warm issue, or it's not like there's
It's
some
like
of this
it's
older
like
beer.
a brew.
There's
issue.
something
Different.
weird, yeah, about it. Like I had like I was like
Hate to see it.
one of the sour ones. It was like a key lime sour. I can't remember what they call it, like shortcake. It's like a key lime shortcake sour or something like that.
Yeah,
What they call it. It was awful. I drain poured it, and I was like, that was so sad because I was like, this is Pula Vita. Why did I drink?
When anytime that's the moments when I wish we had one of those
Yeah.
soundboards again when someone says drain, because anytime someone says drain
Aw.
for, we need like a dun 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 like from the
Price is Right.
Price is Right. Yeah, thank
Wah,
you.
wah,
Yeah.
wah.
No whammy. No whammy.
Yeah. Oh, because that's
Yeah, dude. It was
That's sad.
so sad. I was so mad about that. And I was like, that
That's a
sucks.
bummer.
And I know
because we
Pula Vita
love
can
the
make good
people
beer.
that make that beer.
Right. And they make great beer. I know
Yeah.
they can.
Yeah.
And they have. And they probably still are. But for some reason, we're just not. Whatever we got here was not good. Maybe it was just.
There's something up.
I felt the same way about Tombstone this year. Like
Yeah.
all their IPAs were very samey.
Right.
I went to the new restaurant at Tombstone, and God, it smelled so much like the cleaner.
The Gila Basin one. The Gila,
The one right here.
Yeah.
It smelled so much. It smelled like the cleaner so much that it bothered me. I was just like, I can't come back here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I can. I will.
Yeah, yeah.
I will go back, but I'm just like that particular experience. They were fresh open, but I smell that kind of stuff when I go to certain restaurants, and it bugs the hell out of me. Staying to beer, though, I do agree. I think that sometimes I hate when these breweries start to distribute like that because it makes me concerned.
Yeah, like hops are my co-pilot. I had that this year. Wasn't a huge fan of it. I usually love that beer.
Yeah.
The Ground Control Tombstone.
I
collab.
had what was that big one they had, the Wyatt Earp? What was the Earp one?
Oh, the Spawn of Earp?
Spawn of Earp. I had that. It was delicious.
Yeah.
So I think it's hit or miss, but I agree though. I think that sometimes I don't know.
Well, I think this is probably the first full year we saw those beers just come out of Tombstone North. Would be my guess, right? The previous year maybe it was kind of like a little split between what they're brewing down there and brewing up here to kind of get on board, and something still just not cohesive about the two.
Right.
So,
Two breweries though. I think that Dark Sky continues to produce amazing beer while they continue to produce more of it.
Yeah.
Like they.
Oh, yeah.
They make more beer all the time, and that rye double that we had recently that was friggin' delicious.
Yep.
The Devil's Lettuce was nuts.
Yeah.
I've had 5 or 6 of their releases this year at least, and out of the many, you can't catch them all. And like Pokemon, but you wish you could like Pokemon because they honestly Dark Sky does not disappoint.
No, they're making good.
They are the best brewery in Arizona, in my opinion.
Oh, damn.
They
Remember,
are.
Nate shifted from his Wren House phase. If Nate Zodiac sign went from Wren House to Dark Sky,
I
was-
love Ren, and every beer they make is great too. Their Euro releases this year have been nuts.
there's a lot more of
I
those.
just think that if there was a bunch of Wren House IPAs sitting next to each other, and there was a bunch of Dark Skies IPAs sitting next to each other,
You'd be dead
and
in
I
heaven.
I was dead. First off, I'm dead. And I'm like, fuck. And second of all, to that point, I'm like, okay, well, if I had to choose between these chunks, between these groups,
Yeah.
I'm going Dark Sky because they're doing more of the West Coast styles. They're doing the double rise. They're doing the things that made me excited for beer 10, 15 years ago,
Right.
and Ren is great, but they're still doing a lot of hazies, and they're still making, don't get me wrong, they're making West Coast, they're making different styles of beer, but I have to choose. And I just think that, and I'm also considering silly things like can art, and Dark Sky just continues to knock it out of the park, and their beers are as good as the cans at all times.
I know. I remember how sad you were when I sent you that picture of all those Dark Sky beers sitting on the shelf at Total Wine.
Sacrilegious,
my gosh,
absolutely insanity. They shouldn't distribute to anybody who will place it on a
Yep.
warm shelf like that. I forget where I was up north, but I was like, oh my god, I was like, what is happening? Those beers had to come 3 or 4 hours and 2 or 3 hours and they're sitting on a shelf. Oh my God.
Yeah. I recorded a video. It should be out.
And I mean 2 or 3 hours from the Valley North here. Continue.
But basically the video was talking about how I go to a craft beer store, a bottle shop, and what I think about and what I like.
Trevor's, not a craft beer.
When I go to Trevor's,
when you go to Trevor's,
a spoiled kid's.
But when I go out to a bottle shop, and there's so many options, and how do you
go to Trevor's?
What do you do, right? Like how
the
do you
Sam's
break it
Club
down?
of bottle shops in a good way. I mean,
Right.
and I mean that like tons of quality, a place to sit down and eat. Mean, just like
it's good
ridiculous.
they don't have beer sitting on a shelf.
They don't
Not
have beer sitting
on
on
a
a shelf,
shelf.
and that was literally one
They
of the
have what
things I
sits
brought
on a
up.
shelf that's supposed to sit on a shelf.
Right. Is that, I mean, especially in Arizona, it's hot here most of the year. So transported cold, stored cold, given fresh, like those things are important.
Right.
Really are. So
They absolutely are.
So we got our beer highlights. Do you have any just general craft beer highlights? We'll get into show highlights.
no show highlights.
after this.
All right.
I got some.
All right.
You guys,
Yeah,
I think
give
that-
you guys time to think.
I think that more than ever, I am of the opinion that Arizona Wilderness is a restaurant that makes beer. They are so close to becoming BJ's. It's not even funny.
Remember when Nate used to give me so much shit for hating on Wilderness?
That's because you hated on them for a living.
Yeah, before it was
Yeah.
cool.
Before it was
Before
cool.
it was cool.
Before it was cool. And now, yeah.
They are such a high level restaurant, but God, I just don't get excited about the beer that comes out of there anymore.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And I don't know why. I don't know maybe it's me. Maybe
You
it could be me.
You weren't tearing down the door to get Battle Axe, the return of Battle Axe?
I don't even follow them.
Well, listen.
And that's on me. Like,
And
that's my problem.
I tried the Battle Axe, and it was definitely a lot better this year than it was that first time they released it. It was actually drinkable.
Right.
I still wouldn't have any more than a sample.
Yeah.
It was too much for me.
Great food, though.
The other beer, like their staples that they did, tastes real good still. Like some of the it was fine. It wasn't blowing my socks off in any realm. And yeah, the food was delicious. All the food we got was amazing.
Always.
And that sucks. That like that's the thing
Always.
we say now. Because you go for food.
And then you can get like what feels like it sometimes tastes like a thin IPA. Like they're just like, I don't know. Sometimes they just feel half-assed, some of their beers.
Oh.
And
I got confirmation, by the way, that they ordered too much watermelon. That's why.
Was it? That was my
yeah.
prediction.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got confirmation that they ordered too much watermelon.
Well,
and
remember
that's why it was like watermelon
what's the
goza,
backstory to
watermelon
that?
burger.
When we did that episode, I was like, they had a watermelon eating contest. They had a watermelon salad. They had another watermelon dish.
Yeah, watermelon burger.
They
or some shit
made
like that.
2 watermelon beers, and then they did a watermelon cocktail.
Right.
That's funny.
And it's 100% is because they ordered too much watermelon.
what?
It wasn't like on purpose. It was like, oops, what are we gonna do with all this watermelon? That's funny.
So that falls into what I had as far as highlights a little bit. So early, in no specific order. Nate's fucking with the microphone.
I'm done. Not again.
Chris and I were excited and then promptly disappointed because Papago Brewing reopened.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, did you guys go there?
We did. We did.
Oh no.
It's the brass tap. It's pretty much brass tap.
It is. It's the brass tap.
There's no difference. It just says
Yeah.
Papago outside. And I mean, they had a bunch of Papago beers, and they had not the Coconut Joe, which everybody fucking lost their mind. The Elsie's. They had Elsie's, the Irish coffee stout, which was the one that's the base beer for the Coconut Joe, right? It didn't taste anything close to what the original. I mean, maybe it was just nostalgia. Like, wasn't setting in as hard as it should have, but it was like, this doesn't taste. It wasn't a good Irish stout, coffee stout.
Damn.
And it just didn't taste the same. But that's the thing is, like, I think I remember them talking about it, like when we were going to Papago back in the day. They lost the recipe for it, for Elsie's, right? And so they started making coconut. Basically, the first Coconut Joe was they took an Elsie's and they threw a ton of fucking coconut for it, and they put it at that Tempe Beach Park fucking beer festival thing, and all the fucking people at Tempe, all of the ASU kids loved it, and so they started just making that. But instead of like starting with Elsie's and doing what they did, they just made a whole new beer, and it wasn't the same.
Damn.
And so even Elsie's wasn't, or the Coconut Joe wasn't the same as it was. But it's because they lost
That's so stupid.
Elsie's. Yeah. That's the rumor I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. That was from the servers there. But
either way, they lost the ability to make it the way you remember.
Right. And then they that kitchen there is tiny anyways. I've never been in the Brass Tap. It's such a tiny kitchen. They didn't have any real food, really. Yeah. I was like, oh man, we got pizza bites, and it was like, these aren't the same.
And they don't have the peanut. They don't have the peanut sauce.
Oh yeah. I don't remember if they did or not. I can't remember if they did the peanut sauce there. They didn't have. They didn't make full pizzas like they did because that T-Rex pizza was so good. Didn't see any pizzas on the menu. Again, this was close to opening, so maybe it's different now. But it definitely was like, wah wah.
Yeah,
that's not great.
Yeah,
which is sad because
it is.
I wanted them to come back.
You want it to be a real thing.
Oh yeah,
sad.
There was definitely a lot of people out there that were like, I could hear conversations happening where it was like, I was monk number freaking 15.
Yeah, I was a monk member from day one.
Back in the day, blah blah blah. Like all these people like
that had to hurt.
Bragging each other about what they were, and I was just like, I hope these guys are all really living in the nostalgia wave.
Places like Papago aren't going to come back though. I mean, that was a shitty bar with good food.
Right.
It was a shitty bar with shitty workers with good food and good beer.
Some of those people were the worst. It was
servers. People who were bad at their job.
Never went there for the service, except for like a couple servers. There were a couple servers that were really good there.
Yep. And they weren't bad.
But they didn't last long because they went somewhere nicer.
Because they couldn't handle that shit. Because that place was run like a bunch of psychos. Right. And that was why they went out of bit. I mean, besides the fact that construction happened.
Well, they had to tear the whole place down.
So. But, I don't think they were for long.
Well, anyway. They Huss owned them at that point. There was no, they weren't going to go under, and Popco wasn't going to go under. But like, I don't think you can capture that magic in a bottle. Like that's the thing. No. So that you couldn't,
because you wouldn't need another grind.
There's no way you can go back and make a shitty place like that.
Yeah, it was nasty on the inside. It wasn't nice looking, but it was
the rafters were dirty as hell always.
But it was Papago Brewing, and it was perfect.
It was so good,
spot on for where you wanted to drink and play some games on a Saturday.
Yep, and they had a good section of beer, and it was just
nice fridges for the beer you wanted to drink. You used to stop in there to grab some bottles.
Yeah,
because at least the beer buyer knew what he was doing, and he was the guy who stocked the taps, and he was the reason people came there. He or she. Let's be correct.
But you can't capture that in a bottle, and you can't reproduce that somewhere else. It's just not going to be the same, and it wasn't. I mean, we were just like,
because you'd have to make. You're like, first off, we need a grimy place to be.
Yeah, the Brass Tap was not. That was it was all new.
Yeah.
Like, well, and then in this economy, you can't start off low and shitty. You have to be. You have to hit the ground running.
Yeah,
like you have to be 6 months of experience day one.
Yeah,
as far as what you have on tap, how everything's running, how polished your store is. You can't have a shitty dive bar right now. I mean, some people may be able to pull it off.
It'll come back. There's a place in Austin that's like whole thing is like we're a dive bar with good food, and that's what Papago was.
100%.
Right, and that's
shout out to that bar in Austin. I forget the name.
But there's been a lot of closures this year. We won't go through all of them.
But a lot of closures are because the beer is shitty, the people are shitty, the food is shitty, the place is shitty.
Right.
And nobody's trying to make it not shitty.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing of like Popio. Like the beer was so good and the food was so delicious. I didn't give a shit about the service. I didn't go there for the service. I knew going into it that the splitting the check would be a fucking problem. I knew that we were going to get charged for something that we didn't order, or sometimes
someone was going to overpay.
Someone's going to overpay, or it happened a few times. Underpay. Definitely underpaid. I'm like, there's no way I only had 2 beers.
Exactly.
I had way more than 2 beers, but I'm not going to tell them. So, it's just you going into it. Everything else was so good that it didn't matter. Didn't care. It didn't matter at all. And now we have so many more options and better options that I don't know if even if it was still around, I don't think it would be an option anymore. Like I don't know if I would be like even in that area, like I would be like, no, I'm going to try. They don't have food at Trevor's, but I'll go to Trevor's instead.
Well, that's because
Trevor's is so much better.
Trevor's says, well, okay, we're not going to be a dive bar, but we're going to have top tier beer on tap. And if we're going to have fridges as far as the eye can see full of good beer,
food trucks
are
good,
cigar shop.
Well, and that's what we talked about a couple episodes ago. Look at all the new stuff that's opened up here this year. It's been a brewery teaming up with a food place.
Yeah.
The Phantom Fox and Goat and Ram.
Goat and Ram.
Right.
Cider Core did it a while ago with Mike's Pizza.
Well, Goat and Ram always needed to do. I mean, they were always a top quality truck / food experience wherever they popped up. They always needed a place.
Well, then you had Catalyst and
Salt.
Right.
So like, it makes sense to have somebody come in and do the food that does good food. right? And they can focus on that, and you can just focus on what you
Let
do
that
well,
mind
right?
do their work.
Yeah,
make beer.
you do well at this, and I'll do well at this, and we'll just team up. Makes so much more sense. So I don't know.
By the way, have you guys been to the Phantom Fox yet?
I have not. I've walked by it.
No,
It looks completely different than what Desert Eagle was doing in there.
Good.
Like it's not even recognizable, and like all this space they have now, you're like, where the hell did this come from?
Yeah.
A couple other interesting things that happened this year. To go back to Wilderness, Dirty Hopwater ended on a kind of a
with
whimper.
a fizzle.
Yeah.
with a
Meh. Yeah, that was a fun episode of just. Yeah.
And then I was trying to find the most interesting craft beer story of the year. And there was a
overall.
Yeah, there was a late entry that topped the one I picked. Obviously, the biggest news was Anchor closing.
Yeah.
And all the
yes.
people trying to buy that, which I still like that property is worth way too much for anybody to buy that location.
Right.
If somebody opens up a different location, it's going to be Anchor in name only. But at the end of the year, something fantastically weird happened that took, I would say, the top news story. Arizona Wilderness got hit by a truck.
Yeah, that was real funny.
I missed it.
So a semi truck, which according to their post, this isn't the first time that the building's been clipped, because Wilderness, it's like a drive-through parking lot. There's enough room for one car. Yeah, there's enough room for a car to like go around.
Yeah, two cars.
Two cars can't go in opposite directions in that parking lot. So a semi truck.
I mean, they can. It's not that small, but yes, it's not huge.
But no, I'm talking like the loop around the building. Like you couldn't get two cars going. Like you have to get over to one side of the curb. Like you can't just.
Yeah, I suppose. So what happened? A semi tried to go turn it through there?
A semi was either dropping off or trying to turn around and clip the building and structurally damage the building.
And not just any semi, by the way.
Yeah, there's a giant Michelob Ultra logo on the side of the.
It was Hensley.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hensley, the distributor. Yeah, either picking up their shit or dropping it off. Clipped the building and
structural damage. They had a giant water leak. It damaged, I think it was a sprinkler system. From the posts and stuff, like the fire department had to go in there and put braces up
so it wouldn't fall
down.
The side of the building wouldn't fall off. Yeah, it was crazy.
They closed for the day. They were able to open up thanks to whoever did the
job.
construction to like reinforce the pillars. But they're going to have like significant rebuilding to do to reinforce that structure after.
Which, I mean.
And their post says it's not the first time, but all of it was cosmetic, like semis clipping, like the awnings and the overhangs.
They need to put some signs up. No trucks.
Yeah, go a different route.
I was going to say that, although they probably don't have options.
They just don't have a ton of that brewery space. And we've toured it. We did the episode there.
Where they towed Jeff's truck.
Yeah,
because when they did all that parking nonsense.
Yeah.
Well, there's no. It's just such a hodgepodge of things put together in there. It's so crazy. Like it was like Chase was showing us around and was like, "This is through the window of where you come up to get your order." They had a tube where their grain mill came through, so you'd have to go in there and fill it. Like you go to the order counter and fill out the fucking order the window.
And I'm sure they got a lot of that stuff worked out, but.
It was so tiny. They had an extra thing outside. I don't know that trailer. It's funny. Some of the stuff that were there that I saw when Chase showed us is at their souring facility now because they had a big old refrigerated trailer truck thing, just the box part of it sitting outside that they had filled. Remember? Now it's over at the souring facility. Which, by the way, their sour beers, all things aside, they should quit doing the wilderness beers and just do the sour stuff because all the sour stuff we had was so good.
Their focus is they're trying to do that wood note cellar thing, and
I
want to
go
a lot
there.
more.
You say it's open on the third Thursday?
I think it's the third. Yeah, that Thursday or Saturday. It is phenomenal. It is so good. Saturday. Like I was like, damn, I'm just gonna come here from now on, not go to wilderness ever. Or what we did is we went there, drank a bunch of their sour beers, and we left and went over and got food in the wilderness, and was like, this is delicious. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really funny that wilderness got clipped.
So let's move on to some show highlights of specific.
We have highlights of the show?
Well, yeah, I mean.
All right, fine.
I would say the biggest one is that Matt from BRI finally met Nate. I still don't think he believes he's real.
He was surprisingly surprised.
Like he came out from around.
He's like, I'm coming around the table for this.
Come around the table. I was like, that's the funniest thing ever.
He's such a good guy.
Yeah.
He's such a genuinely good person. It's funny that we haven't met, and and that 480 was actually. I mean, it was delicious.
Yeah,
I loved it, and he's such a good dude. And yeah,
well,
it was crazy how genuinely nice he is in person. Like the gleam in that guy's eye. I like you.
Matt is he's very charismatic, I should say. Right?
Yeah.
He's got some charisma to him.
He is. He's
100%.
But he's just a good dude, like you guys have said in the past. He's just a good guy.
He will call out our bullshit, though, which is really funny. So we definitely...
As someone should.
Yeah. So you go to the beer fest and you talk to him, and he's like, are these real questions? Is this what you guys are fucking doing? All right, let's do it. And you're like, oh, man. So, which is great. It keeps us honest. I like
Absolutely.
it. So, but it's just funny, like, he's very nice and charismatic, but at the time, he's not going to just say shit that fucking blows
that
up
was
your
a big
ass.
highlight for me as well.
Yeah. So that was cool.
The other, one of the bigger ones was episode 100 at the shop.
That was fun.
That was a good
which
show.
was a 2-part episode.
That was fun.
So, which, by the way, part 2, and maybe it's just because we're like more hammered, I guess. I don't know, but part 2 got way more listens than part 1 did.
Part 2 was a shit. The editing part 2 took
I'm
me
sure.
3 times as long as editing part 1.
Yeah.
I had to edit huge chunks just because a couple people were incoherent at certain points.
What?
Had to be Chris.
Yeah, mostly me.
Yeah.
Mostly me.
Well, and then the whole conversation that didn't even make it to air.
Well, you guys...
When we're talking to, what's his name, Matt from Santan, just showed up and started talking to us. It's
we spent another hour.
We could have recorded a whole nother episode just bullshitting with him.
Oh yeah, have we said something?
Matsky.
Have we said something about Matsky?
No,
Nope.
no, not yet.
I want to.
Yeah, we need to go talk to him for sure. 100%. It's on the radar for things to do. It's just.
And then Chris started his crafting stories series.
I did,
which is a post, which seems to be getting pretty good feedback and interaction with people.
Chris has done such a good job with the social media at this year. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. And it's all because Ed is doing all the editing full time now.
Except all his shitty stock photos that he uses.
I
went over to his house. He's like, Nate, I'm going to take your photo.
I'm like, hey, go stand over there, dummy.
Yeah,
it was like Jeffrey Dahmer's like, just take some photos.
Yep. After this is over, we're going to have a little photo shoot.
Yeah.
He did. He's like, okay, we're going to play games and paint in a minute, but first I got to take your photo. I was like, what is going on, dude?
If we take a picture of Nate and his hat, are we going to have to blur that?
I was going to blur it. I'll blur it.
This is the hat. I think he actually took photos of me in. But thank you, Chris. I know it's not a big thank you, Chris episode. Don't edit me out.
Please don't. Yeah, please
I'll
don't.
stop thanking him.
And then, remember how upset in episode 100 Nate was about how many shows he missed?
Yeah, it's true. That is true.
And then I went on to miss.
And you're like, I'm going to be here more often.
I said, I'm convinced you guys don't tell me about every episode, but I could be wrong about that.
This is going to make Nate upset. But
you catching me now?
Do you want to know the show count?
Yeah, let's hear it, big boy.
What was the original show count?
It could only be bad for me if he wants to tell us.
Well, listen,
it literally could only be bad for me.
I mean, are we starting from all the episodes, or are we just talking about just season 2? Because we're on season. Which by the way, I love telling people that we're in season 2 of our beer podcast. Or how many episodes of season 1? I'm like 100.
Yeah,
no, that the law of averages works in Nate's favor to go back to episode 1.
Okay, Brandon better have a count.
I'm not. No, he did. I think it was 15.
15. Yeah, he wasn't in a bunch.
Quitter.
Well, listen,
and he'll never hear this. So
you don't listen to the show ever.
Pick whitest spot.
Chris's show count is 108 out of 109.
High five, Chris.
This will be one.
I hate you guys. I tell you all the time, you can do it without me, and then nobody does.
No, we can't.
No, we'll wait.
We did it once
dummies.
without you, and it was good.
Evidently not. It wasn't good at all.
We didn't.
Yeah, me and you went to Goldwater together. We went to Goldwater basement together.
That was you and Jeff.
That was you and Jeff. We didn't record a show, though. That's where I met you. It was
me and a short person. Sorry.
Stinks. He had grayed his beard, too. I don't even remember.
Nate, 66 episodes.
Ed, 68 episodes.
Nope. Ed, 66 episodes.
Yeah! I'm never missing another show, motherfuckers.
You gotta keep him ahead.
I know. Hopefully you get sick or something.
And then we'll just come over here anyways and record at his studio.
Yeah.
I guess our studio. I don't know. Whatever.
Damn. 66 versus 108, huh? 42 episodes?
Who did I record the other episodes with?
I know. Was it
not you? Was it just Jeff?
Well, between me and Nate, Yeah, so I was looking at that. Those numbers seemed weird to me too, and I was like,
Yeah,
well,
that's
Nate
a
was
good
there
question.
for every episode up until weirdly when I joined, and then he started.
That's a good point.
Oh, yeah,
That's a good one. No, that was one of the big positives of Ed joining the show when he did, because I remember I was especially effed at the house and I needed to be at home, and Ed is by far better at this than I am, and we all appreciate Ed for what he does, and thank you. But 66, you're not gonna get me.
I'll
You're
get
not
you.
gonna
Okay.
get me, dude.
We'll see. We'll see.
He's gonna
2024.
He's gonna plan something. He's like, "Oh, you're out of town this
Oh.
week. I want to squeeze a quick one in, dude."
I'm gonna not be here for 40 episodes, so you guys figure it
I
out.
have 40 episodes,
You guys, it's just you two, and you guys catch up to me.
So speaking of which, let's get
We
into
do
a
need to
little
do an Ed and Nate episode.
2024 predictions.
gonna
It's
be-
me and him arguing.
It's just gonna be you and guys drinking beer and arguing about hockey.
arguing for 30
This
minutes.
is the worst beer
Arguing
episode
about
ever.
Everything. Nate and Ned argue episode 1.
Yeah.
I'm honestly looking forward to it
Um,
because I've never argued with anybody more friendly than Ed.
that's a nice way to put that.
Thank you.
But let's get into some 2024 predictions and expectations.
All right.
To kind of wrap up. But to finish off, way early in the year, we gave away tickets to Strong Beer Fest. Do you remember when we did that?
Run it back, Ed.
January.
February.
February,
Strong
okay.
Beer Fest is in
February.
February.
No, I know, but I thought we did it. I thought we gave them right at the end
Probably
of
at
January.
the end of January.
End of January.
So
When do we give them away? I said end of January.
So hopefully we get to do that again because obviously Strong Beer Fest is coming up again in February. It's going to be at Salt River Field again, which is very
Super
beneficial
excited.
to Chris.
and you guys, because you guys can come, start at my house, and then we'll go over there.
Yep.
So you're welcome.
Arizona Beer Week too is that time. Hopefully we got something fun to do. We can
When
do
is
Arizona Beer.
It's February.
Yes.
It is.
We do need to do something fun. We need to. We used to plan this episode.
I think it's the week after Valentine's Day, because usually it's like right around Valentine's Day,
That
but
does
it's how
actually make
the
sense.
thing lines up. It's the week after Valentine's Day this year, or this
Are you
coming
saying
year.
Valentine's
Yeah.
Day?
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Valentine.
Thank you. Is he not saying
He said
Valentine's?
Valentine's. Yeah.
Valentine's.
That's what you guys
There's
say?
an N in there.
That's weird. Valentine's. No.
So hopefully we have a new sticker
super
for
romantic.
Strong Beer this year,
We'll see.
or at least some stickers.
Okay.
Um,
I'll order some stickers.
I can't.
maybe hopefully we can get a new hat this year.
Ooh,
if
but,
we-
but Chris gets to choose it because he hates the last hat that I liked.
If
I
you know
still like
anybody
that
who
hat.
has hat distribution or
Ed's wearing our previous hat, and I still think that hat is fire. I think that hat came out great. It's got a slight bend in the bill. It's a good hat. What are we getting next time? We get
We're gonna get some
dad hats.
No, we're gonna get some 4-panel.
Dad hats are huge.
We'll get the.
But I mean dad hats. I just mean a good bend in it. I mean they're huge.
It's because
they're
those people
massive.
they're really.
Look, my hat
They're-
has a nice bend in it. It's not a dad hat.
There's no bend in that hat.
Are you kidding
Well, there's
me?
a little bend.
Straight bent.
That's a little bend.
Me and Ed are about the same. Am I wrong? I can't tell.
I mean,
We're comparing bill bends here on a goddamn podcast.
Yeah,
all right.
yes.
great visual
Anyway,
references.
we're gonna get a new hat. We're gonna get a new hat, huh?
maybe we gotta find something that we can order small.
Yeah, we don't
batches
need
of hats.
1,000.
How much did our last hat cost?
That's the problems that we like. Every place I've looked at so far, their minimums are way too high.
Yeah.
We don't need 150.
But we
hats.
could get rid 50 would be good though.
right. 50 would be fine. 25 would be great if we do something like that. But
I'd help finance that.
yeah, find me a place I can do it. That's the problem.
All right,
Find me a place I can do nice quality hats that we can
Make a note. I'll
do
make a note
low
of that.
runs, and that would be
Because
great.
that's the thing. If I don't make, I got to start making. That's my 2024 notes.
24 notes.
2024.
But yes,
Yeah.
hats would be good. They're like I keep seeing.
What did you say about 4-panel? You wanted
No.
that
Fuck no.
6-panel is what you said.
I was just joking about
Oh,
hats. I
okay.
was just one of those floppy
Okay.
fucking Gilligan hats. I was doing like Gilligan hat. That's what I was gonna say.
Bucket hat.
Yeah, bucket
Sorry,
hat.
I'm
Bucket.
so hard right now. I didn't know that's what you meant. Okay.
I was gonna do a
I'm
bucket
such
hat.
an idiot. Okay.
Uh,
All right. 25 to 50 hats would be good though. Huh? All right.
So
No,
the company I do for stickers, they've been sending like sample packets that you can do. It shows you all the different like styles that they can do, and there's some really fucking cool stuff that you can put in there for like metallics or reflections or glitters or whatever. And I'm like, I want to like take some of that and incorporate that into a beer thing.
yeah.
Like even if we just did like the beer, like the Arizona State beer, drink local one, but made that like the yellow like like glittery.
Oh, it'd
and
be fun to
reflective.
reimagine
I
that.
think that'd be really cool. I think
We've
that'd be
had
kinda
that
cool.
for like how many years now? It'd be
Yeah.
fun to reimagine that same one because that's a classic one for us.
Yeah, so I like that a lot. So maybe something like that. We'll see.
Then hopefully we can do a collab this year. That would be fun.
We can make that happen. Who do we want it to? What's our short list for who we want to do?
Oh, that's easy. Red House, Roses by the Stairs,
Dark Sky,
Dark Sky,
The Shop.
Keep going.
The
I like
Shop.
I'll
it.
go back to the
Keep
shop.
going. You're not wrong. I like them all.
Yeah, that's probably the short list. Those four would be.
Ed killed that list. Ed just slammed that list. Nice job.
more interviews, obviously, because we were a little short on interviews this year.
Yeah,
Do
we need
the
to get
people
out.
like interviews? The people like them?
People love the interviews, and that's
need
the thing is and I mean I miss them too. Like I love going.
Yeah,
and
he hates
meeting-
talking to us.
We excel at interviews too.
No, but that's the thing is like I love
a good interview.
like listening to how somebody got somewhere. Like when I go back and listen to the episodes and make some of those audiograms, when we talk to people, like the things that we talk to people, they have such good things to say. And I love like listening to our episode. I went and listened to like I had to make the shop one. It was like Dave, Dylan, and
Great guys.
the last guy, Jason.
There you go.
Oh, I forgot you were naming.
The shop
that's
guy, right?
Jason.
Those guys.
Yeah.
Jason hilariously doesn't say anything because he told him he's like I'll be honest, I'm not gonna say much. And then but like
He makes good
Dave and
beer.
Dylan, hilarious. We talked about it. It makes me laugh all the time because we listen to it and you're like, dude, it's such a time frame in beer. But like, they like that's the year that the high end shit came out from InBev, right? Like it was like all those like people that they bought like Wicked Weeds and people came out and were like, we're the fucking high end, and you're like,
Right.
go fuck yourselves. You got paid to do this.
Yeah,
And then the
that's
other
right,
one was
I forgot about that.
they had all that campaign going on. It's like we brew the hard way, and it was like, what the fuck does
I
that
know, I
mean?
forgot
What does the
about
hard
all
way
that.
mean, dude? So it's just fun to listen to those, and then to hear them talk about things and how passionate they are about. And that's the thing too is listen to like the Pueblo Vita people and people that are like, it was great to like talk to them and get this like they get it. Like the Pueblo Vita people, like I listen to Kyle talk. We definitely need to go back to Pueblo Vita and talk to them
He's a
again because
passionate guy.
well, it's funny because everything that they always make decisions on came from a craft beer lover's perspective, right? It wasn't a business thing. It wasn't things. Everything he talked to us about was like, we do the can art because the can art, is important to us because if we put that much passion into the can art and we put that much passion into the beer, why would they not be the same? And that's totally what I get, right? I agree with that, right? So it's just, there's a lot of cool things listening back to those old episodes that I was like,
Absolutely.
man, we need to go back and talk to these people and see if things change. See if like, is that the same Kyle still mindset? Is that his mindset still?
I know.
Has it
I'd love to
changed or
see
not?
I'd love to see how the business evolved for him.
I want to get to Dark Skies. That whole production facility. Never seen it. We've never been there.
I know.
Right? I'd love to go see that.
This will be a productive year.
But yeah, I mean, we still need to get to Oro. Talk to Oro people. We do the Santan. We talked to
I know,
them.
Matsky.
Yeah, Matsky. We talked to him. He's that little, like we said, to talk that little bit for him. That little just
We need to tag him. before
20
we
minutes of
close
talking
this
about it
episode.
was great.
Yeah, no, he's good.
So
He's a whole episode for
Yeah.
sure, without a doubt.
And then you guys mentioned it, but the final thing that I actually wrote down for 2024 is a show without Chris.
I think
Good luck.
that's good. I think
Good
that's
luck.
good because Chris will be busy and
gonna
we'll
be
need to do one.
it's gonna be zero up. There's gonna be zero downloads. You guys don't even know the passwords to upload the
That would be
episode.
funny.
You just don't put. Oh yeah, it's up there, guys. Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
we just don't look.
Huh. That was never got released. That's weird.
Hey man, I looked several months ago and that thing never showed up.
And then to finish up, which might be the first episode for 2024 that we record, is as this episode drops, I will probably be drinking beer at Raleigh Farmhouse.
You will.
Oh no!
But John won't be there, though.
Yeah, John won't
sadly.
be there. John will be in Tucson.
Yeah, John will be in Tucson. So we need to go to Tucson
Okay,
and go talk to John
perfect.
while he's there. Well, maybe we'll Zoom call him.
Perfect. Hey Ed,
Yeah,
that's
funny.
good.
So hopefully I'll definitely bring back some Raleigh beers and we'll have a show and we'll go through
I
that.
want some
That'd be
Meyer some in my life so bad.
So, and talking about planning things out, and then we've said it in the past, and I was looking at it earlier this year, and I think we should try to plan it out as best we can. We need to go to GABF
That sounds fun.
because that'd be a fun. And we know
What month is that usually, Ed? Mid-year, right?
Yeah.
It's about mid-year-ish, right?
right. So
May,
we have
June.
some time to plan. But what's nice about
I'm
it is
in.
we know enough people, at least in Arizona craft beer, that go that we would have a very fun time. And John goes and he goes to that rare barrel tasting event. That's amazing.
I'm in.
Like there's some really cool stuff that we could get.
We should drive up or fly.
Pretty good
I
access,
guess
too.
we could fly up too because honestly, it'll probably be like it's probably because it's Colorado, or does it move?
No, it's Colorado.
Oh, it's Colorado.
It's
Okay,
always Colorado. So we could drive up.
I'm
Easily
in.
drive up.
Super in.
get a we can share a hotel for a week.
GABF is October 10th through 12th, 2024.
Good job, Ed. October 10th through 12th.
So that's the thing is I'd like to go. I'd like to go there and
I think that sounds like a blast. I think we should just go ahead and plan on that. That's 3 days out of our lives sometime late next year.
Because we can
I'm
do
into that.
some great video there. We have
Tons of
the
people
road
to
mic
meet.
stuff now, which is gonna be really easy to do. We don't have to have tons of stuff with us, which is be fine. So we can walk around the whole complex. They actually
have
have a room.
new hats.
They have a room for us to go to and actually do things too, so we can live event during the event, which is
nice.
kind of cool.
Oh, we'll have
So
to.
stuff like that, like be a lot of fun.
We're gonna have to do a couple on the side. I mean, that's too good.
Right.
It's too good.
Yep.
So I think that's a great one. Okay. Yep. I'm into that.
October, so we have time to plan.
Time.
Sorry,
Don't be
That's what I got.
sorry. I think it's wonderful.
No, that puts a nice bow on it. We'll see if we live up to those expectations.
We can do it, guys. The three of us, we can do it. I believe it.
all right. Everyone put their hand in.
And break.
Family.
Ed, get your
Wait.
hand in there.
No, your hand's so hot. I don't want to touch your hand anymore.
It is warm. I said that. The lady at that bar mitzvah said, poor woman.
Poor lady.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
I'm
that's the
about
end
to-
of the show. This is the end of the year.
Yep.
Hope everybody has a safe and happy new year.
Yeah, thanks to all our listeners and thanks to people who are new. And we will continue to try to produce interesting content.
Yeah, and it's like
Hopefully you like the sound of our voices.
as I put in Rob's post, one of the first things he said to us is that craft beer podcasts don't really like last the test of time. They kind of go after for a while.
Yeah.
So it always made me laugh. But it'll give me motivation to keep doing this. And so that helped. But also meeting people, getting to talk about beer and going and doing fun things. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's all great.
Having
Thanks
a
for
sweet studio.
Dude,
Oh,
sweet studio.
There's
This
no
is so much
doubt
better.
you and Ed are the driving force of this podcast. I appreciate you having me on as pretty much an exclusive regular guest. And I appreciate you guys because you guys put the work into this stuff.
Well,
And you allow me to come.
and 2024, you're going to have a note list and you're going to be doing some work.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we'll give you some job
Do it.
duties.
I'm into it.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the end of the year episode. We really appreciate all the listeners and everybody that listens to our show. It's been an amazing year, just like every other year we've done this. Listening to people, talking to people, it just gives us more, energy to keep doing the show and keep doing what we love. So thank you for that. We really appreciate it. If you want to find more information about us, the best place probably to do that is Instagram. We're at Hoppy Craftsmen there. We are on YouTube as well, so we can look at youtube.com/Hoppy Craftsmen. And then last and probably not least is our patron supporters. So if you want to be a patron supporter, go to patreon.com. You can search Hoppy Craftsmen and you should be able to find us now. But our patron supporters who supported us all year long and all the time are amazing. And they are Saucy Cena. She is got her own tier. She's one of our biggest supporters ever. So thank you. The man on the street reporter, Zach Dominguez. Thanks, Zach, for always being out there and reporting back to us, even we don't ask you to do it, but we really appreciate it. Terrence Hollows, who is an executive producer. So thanks, Terrence. He is also the person that goes out and actually does a lot of the videos with us. So, thanks, Terrence, for taking time out to go to beer festivals or going out places and doing video. That's super helpful. And then Jeff Johnson, thanks for being, a patron supporter and buying us beers during happy hour. We really appreciate that. So, again, if you want to be a patron supporter, go to patreon.com/Hoppy Craftsmen. There's lots of tiers still available. As you heard in the show, we plan on doing a lot more stuff, and patron supporters get, all the new stickers. If we do glassware this year, you guys will get glassware from us. Definitely get some hats if you want hats, and we find somewhere to make those, which would be awesome. So lots of good things and benefits for being a patron supporter of the show, and we really appreciate it. So thanks so much. And one final thing, it is the end of the year, so we'll be taking some time off for the holidays, enjoying that time with our families and friends and doing fun stuff, and getting recharged for next year. So enjoy the holiday, and we'll see you in 2024. Cheers.